DrumComputer, the best drum machine and sequencer plugin, is truly amazing. But even for someone that knows about drum machines and drum synthesis, it can be a bit intimidating as it has a unusual and fascinating design. It doesn't matter if you're making a kick, a snare, a cymbal or anything, you will always use the same 3 engines. So today I will explain how these engines work and why they are all you need to make drum sounds. So these 3 engines are the Resonator, the Wavetable or analog oscillator, and the Resynthesis or sampler. The Resonator is based on the engine of the Roland 808. That means that it's not an oscillator, it's actually a resonant filter. When you have a filter that resonates a lot, it will self-oscillate, creating a tone. So the way it works is that it has an exciter, usually it can be a small burst of noise, that will make the filter self-oscillate. In this type of filters, the higher the resonance, the longer the decay will be. That's why the big knob on the middle, it's called resonance and not decay. Because of this, the pitch right here is actually the cutoff point. And if you want to enhance the transient, as I said on my drum synthesis video, you can achieve that by increasing the pitch modulation. As I said, an exciter is what triggers the resonant filter, and we have 4 different exciter modes. The default one is a burst of noise. If you increase the tone, you can open it. The decay knob is going to be the decay of the noise. The other modes are just an envelope, which is cleaner, and what's interesting is that you can set the wavetable or analog oscillator to be an exciter, and also the resynthesis or sampler. As you can see, we are only listening to the resonator, but we will be able to hear the wavetable as an exciter. Then we can change parameters and still listen to that. This one will start adding some atonal harmonics to the tone. One last feature, as I mentioned, this is a resonant filter, and we can actually choose the filter type. The second engine is the wavetable or analog oscillator. The only difference between both is that the analog is the classic waveforms and you can fade between each other, but everything else is virtually the same. As you know, having a wavetable engine will let you create complex harmonic relationships between different shapes. We also have a pitch modulation amount option and a decay knob, but now we can set the behavior of the attack and decay stages. We have all of these options for envelope shaping. Now the decay doesn't affect the decay per se, it affects the whole shape. With this little button we can invert the shape. Here at the top we have 2 more ways in which we can affect the wave. One is FM modulation. The interesting thing is that the modulator of this FM is the resonance engine. Again, we are just listening to the wavetable, but if we change parameters on the resonator, you will notice the difference. Not only that, we can create like a loop between them because the resonator is modulating the wavetable frequency, but we can set the wavetable to be the exciter. The last knob is ring modulation on a set sine wave. This knob sets the speed and you can go up to 2 octaves above or below, so you can calculate the pitch. 50% is going to be 1 octave. The last engine is the resynthesis or sampler. You can use any sample you want, put your own custom folders and drag and drop. And the way the resynthesis work is what they call a noise table. It's going to be a single cycle waveform that sometimes can give you a sound really similar to the original source, and other times can give you something really different. And in this case, the big knob in the middle is the color, which is a low pass or high pass filter. Finally, in the sampler, you can use any sound file you want, and you're going to play it just as it is. We again have the coloration option, but now we have 2 more controls. We can set the starting point and also a looping point. And at the bottom we have exactly the same controls as for the wavetable. The decay can cut the sample, and if we go longer than the time of the sample, it's going to start to repeat it until it's silent. So those are the 4 basic engines. As you can see, by using them at the same time, you will have so many options that you will be able to make any drum sound you want. But we also have other options to further manipulate the sound. The filter has 6 different types, including a vowel or format filter. But to be able to use it, you have to check these filter labels right here. Then we have the distortion, which is soft clipping or bit crushing. And at the bottom we have a compressor. Then we have a 2-band EQ that we can cut or boost. And at the bottom we have different modulators. These two are the same, they are modulation generators. They have controls for the speed, we can sync them or not to our project, and we can choose to loop them or leave them as envelopes. And with this button right here, we will make sure that every time we press a key, it's going to be retriggered. On default, they are routed to the cutoff point, the global pitch, the waveform of the wavetable, and the FM of the wavetable, but you can choose many parameters, even the level of the reverbs, individual parameters of each engine, or parameters that they all share. And lastly, we have these 4 modulators, and they are routed to the mixer level, cutoff point, global decay, and global pitch, but of course you can change them to anything you want. Velocity and modify are really interesting because here on the sequencer you see that we have parameters to change the velocity of each hit and also the modify. Not only that, we also have all of these options as modulator sources. So I hope now you understand how each of these engines work and how you can use them to make any kind of sound you want. As always, Sugar Bytes is giving us something to experiment with that will quickly give us crazy results. This is one of my favorite plugins, go check it out, and if you want to buy it, consider using my affiliate link down in the description. Also, there are other ways to support my content. You can subscribe to my Patreon, give a super thanks here on YouTube, buy my preset packs or my music, whatever you want. I will see you next time, and bye bye.